Okay, one important point we have to actually ask is that when the company was going very bad, when the company was going extremely bad, they wanted to dissolve the company, they want to close down the company, they wanted to sell the only very profitable asset, that is basically UOA, or now they call it Oriental Capital. So when they wanted to dispose the Oriental Capital, so it was actually the circular to dispose was only one page, But the same company, which is acquiring company called Celcom Engineering, when they released the thing, they gave 15 pages explaining how it would benefit the company and so on. Here we only had one page circular, where telling why they have to sell and so on. And at the AGM, when they had the AGM to discuss this issue, they bulldozed all the thing without discussing at all, you see. After saying this, all the 4 directors, that is Velpari, Nadarajah, then the lawyer Vijay Kumar, Rashid Manaf, just abruptly left, you see. Then what has happened is that the Mesa Cooperative, which is headed by Dato Subra, they got an injunction, Although we don't know what was the objective of Dato Subra to take this action. It was done before November 25th and before March 8 election. One thing I will very clearly say that the action was very right, and the court actually has given an injunction preventing the disposal of the shares to this thing. And the reason why it's very important is that the share was actually proposed to sell at a grossly undervalued price, you see. Basically, at that material time, there was an insurance company, Alliance Insurance, was buying CMB, which they had a PE ratio to the tune of 2.3 to 2.5. Price earning, this accounting valuation method, you see. But when come to Maika Holdings, it was actually when they were selling this Oriental Capital, which was a profitable, profit-making organization. They were selling at 1.7 after having a write-down value. On accounting policy, they wrote off a lot of their provisions. So we felt very offended, and it's an insult to the shareholders, you see.
Did you question why an engineering company wants to take over an insurance company?
See, it's a very good question, but the answer should only be answer best known to the board. They should, because by right, if you ask me, any sensible, respectable setup, they always engage professionals like an accounting firm to tender to the highest bidder. So here, I think this was more like direct negotiation on a, what you call, negotiated tender or something like that, you see. So it was there. And to come and say that they were not able to return the capital, I think it's just a further insult to the intelligence of the shareholders. This is how I were to view it.
So in upcoming AGM, what do you want answered?
See, this AGM is actually a very symbolic approach. You see. Year in, year out, we go down there, and the way they answer the question is also very insulting. They will ask all the shareholders to ask the same question. They'll take down the thing and just bulldoze, and without giving any clarification. I'm a shareholder of SP Satya. The chairman is Rashid Manaf. When he conduct the meeting in SP Satya, he conduct it with great corporate governance and intelligence and with respectfully. But the same chairman, when come to Maika Holdings, he's not able to. He just does things very, very summarily, and is more concerned about finishing the AGM than answering the questions. He doesn't appears to me a person who's holding 20% company who has proprietary interest. Is more concerned about how to get away with. But he doesn't do that with the SP Satya's meeting. That's the insult we are suffering from them. So when you ask a question, the AGM is not going to bring anything. It's basically the regulatory body, the government. This way, I think people have been bringing into them for the past 15-20 years after the Maika telecom scandal. But nothing has been brought up. I think things has been brought to the CCM, Company Commissioner of Malaysia. It was also brought into Parliament, where recently a question was asked. It was also brought to the ACA that involved that some of the payment, which was actually from a subsidiary called Maika Intellectual Property, some of the payment was directed to Tamil Nation under the current CEO Velpari. Was brought to the ACA then, and many police report. Nothing seems to be. Basically, they have been getting away with, and we had not have two symbolic AGM. We don't have the AGM last year for the year 2008 and 2009, which is due on 30th June. And till today, no news about it. And a very flimsy answer is given under the police investigation. What business are they doing? So, I don't think that nothing much would ever come out of it. There's no, unless maybe if there's a change of government, possibly something wise might come off you see. If you ask me, that organization has poised to growth if they have some joint venture and so on, which I believe is possible. But with the current set of board of directors and with no clear objective, and they are more concerned that they want to get themselves out of the hook of the misdoing and so on, definitely we will not able to do anything. Unless there's proper judicial administration. What happened normally, certain government appointed or court appointed people to liquidate the company. That's possible. Coming back to your question, ideally, personally for me, justice needs to be done to the shareholders. Whoever have done wrong, they have to be brought to the task and face the music. But if you ask me, ideally, looking at all the situation, I think in the interest of the greatest shareholders, I think it's very important for us to be liquidated by professionals, not with the current board of directors.
Well, the last AGM, it was very, we would say it was done in a very, chaotic manner, and a lot of questions asked by the shareholders was totally ignored. Sometimes the mics was turned off. Those kind of things happen. So a lot of shareholders were actually afraid to actually come forward, and ask questions and all that. It becomes a very fearful thing to attend even a shareholders meeting. So these are all very unfair to shareholders. People who are in administrating the company should take note of all these and be fair to the shareholders who invested their money in the company. They just want to be treated fairly.
At the AGM, to add on to it, at the AGM, the shareholders were manhandled, and those people who participated in the day, you find a lot of MPs, MIC MPs, Barisan National MPs were there, then Komala Krishnan, then was Vigneswaran, who was part of the government, Veerasingham, all these people were there, with them inside. They were just manhandling and questionable security guards, appointed by Maika Holdings. And of course, now the FT Deputy Minister Saravanan, I saw him personally showing hand and directing some security personnel to handle some people. And all this was, police reports were all made. Nothing has been sorted out. Do you mean is it wise for a shareholder to go to the AGM and us? We are not political people. We are genuine. We had an intention because we felt the humiliation we suffered then, getting opportunities. It was more an emotional, communal based kind of investment we did. What we get insult. But personally, I believe justice needs to be done. But if you look at me, frankly, on a practical perspective, I think the greatest thing that can possibly happen, get some independent, respectable, unbiased, uninterested party, professional people to liquidate the company and pay back. It will be one of the dark corporate history of India. Another great thing which we can look at it is, maybe Ananda Krishnan, people like him who have exceptionally high level of integrity, not only in Malaysia, the region. When he went for Maxis and all that, he even returned back some of the capital to the price, IPO price, which is well regarded with great corporate governance, to take over and do some national service in Indian sense, you see.